Let me welcome you to the 42nd lecture of NPTEL online certification course Surface Mining Technology. From this lecture we will start excavation with bucket wheel excavator. There will be 3 lectures on this bucket wheel excavator, and this is the first lecture in this. Title of this lecture is Introduction to Bucket Wheel Excavator. So, as we do in every class, let us look once into the learning background expected from the participants. They should have this learning background before appearing this surface mining technology course. These are the learning objectives set for the surface mining technology course, and these are the expected learning outcomes from the participants of the surface mining technology course. And these are some of the textbooks and references. In this I would like to particularly draw your attention in these 2 books in connection with the bucket wheel excavator and its performance. These 2 books are good and should be followed. Apart from that, this book is also having a good material for studying the bucket wheel excavator part. Apart from that, there are in website a number of informations are available. Now, let us retrospect so far what we have covered in this surface mining technology course. We have started with the current status of the surface mining in the worldwide, and after that we have covered the phases of mining a deposit and what are the operations associated with these phases. After that we have covered the commencement of surface mining through excavation of box cut. Then we have covered the unit operations like drilling technology, and we have discussed different drilling pattern. We have discussed the blasting technology, which is most commonly used for fragmenting the rock mass. After that we have covered blast free excavation technology, which is adopted for soft material, that is reaper, and the excavated material, how that can be fragmented material, how that can be excavated by the excavator or loading that to the transporting system, that is discussed. And we have discussed the transporting system with special emphasis to the shovel dumper combinations. We have discussed the excavation by surface miner, and we have discussed the excavation and direct casting of the material using drag line, and we have discussed the excavation using the high wall mining system for the locked coal, especially the coal seams which are locked under the high wall, how that can be mined with the high wall mining system. And in this lecture we will discuss the excavation by bucket wheel excavator. The learning objective sets for these 3 lectures on bucket wheel excavator is like this: to understand the bucket wheel excavator and its operating procedure, to understand the method of mining and pit layouts with bucket wheel excavator, and to understand the performance of bucket wheel excavator. These are the objectives set for these lectures. Now, let us try to understand what is bucket wheel excavator. Basically, bucket wheel is comprising a large wheel. You can see in this figure, this is the large wheel, and in this large wheel a number of buckets are enclosed with. So, when the wheel is basically rotating, that time these buckets are striking with the wall and it is excavating the rock. So, that is why this is called a bucket wheel excavator, is basically a large heavy equipment machine used in surface mining. In fact, the largest mobile equipment in this earth is one bucket wheel excavator. We will come to that at a later stage. The primary function of bucket wheel excavator is to act as a continuous digging machine in large scale surface mines and remove thousands of tons of overburden or coal material in one day. Basically, this is a wheel which is comprising a number of buckets. These buckets are basically filling the material and discharging that onto a continuous transporting system, then the production is achieved through that. So, basically bucket wheel excavator is a very highly productive machine, and with its efficiency of the cutting, it is deployed in the soft rock material for the excavation purpose. So, we can say it is a large heavy machine deployed for the continuous excavation. As the continuously the wheel is rotating, buckets are continuously striking onto the wall face and it is digging the wall. It is comprises a large wheel fitted with a number of buckets. As the wheel rotates, bucket lips are stuck with the rock wall and cuts the rock wall. Bucket wheel excavator gain popularity 1950s onward, and wholehearted its deployment occurred in the brown coal mines or lignite mines in the Germany. And in India, the first bucket wheel excavator was introduced in Navali lignite mines, which was opened in the year 1956 onward, and in early 1960 the bucket wheel excavator was deployed in the mine on the consultation of the German people along with their experience in the Germany. So, this is the largest movable equipment. This is the largest movable equipment in the world, which is Bagger 293 bucket wheel excavator manufactured by Takraf, and it is produced in 1995. Its weight is 14,200 ton, and which makes it the largest movable machine in the world. And these are the other specifications of the machine. Approximate I think 17 buckets are 18 buckets are attached with this. Diameter is 21 meter, and it can handle huge quantity of material in one pass. So, this is the largest machine. This is before that in 1975 this was the lower size model. You can see it is 13,000 ton weight machine, and this is the specification of this machine, which is also a very giant bucket wheel excavator, and you can see its capacity can raise to 2 lakh meter cube per day, and it is having the boom length of 225 meter and height is 96 meter, and it is manufactured in the year 1975. And that is why these machines are very highly productive, and these are costly also. 100 crores, 200 crores are in general the prices of this machine, and that is why it is essentially required to produce huge quantity of material every day, so that it can be profitable to the mine. In fact, because of this only you can find out German lignite mines are able to operate at a depth of 500 meter or so, despite the lignite price is significantly low, but they can still economically profitable with this type of technologies only. So, this is one video available in this YouTube. You can see how the lips are struck with the wall, and these are some of the picks are attached with the lip, and these are stacking. The material is coming, then the material is discharged gradually like this, and the conveyor is taking the material at this position. So, this is the discharge system. As the conveyor is taking this material, here the conveyor is transferring this material. You can see the conveyor is rotating here, and the excavator, as the wheel is rotating, the excavator is taking the material. Now, after taking this material, the material is guided towards the conveyor. This is the feeding system of the conveyor, and the conveyor is fed like this. So, here basically it is a half cell type. For a little while these materials are kept with the bucket, then the material is allowed to discharge into the bin and it is then taking by the conveyor. Then the conveyor is, this is the conveyor which is primary conveyor which is taking the material. This conveyor is discharge the material to the delivery conveyor. Delivery conveyor is also can rotate at any direction. Delivery conveyor may directly unload the material to the shiftable conveyor placed in the back side, which you can see, or it can be clubbed with some other conveyors also. So, you can see it provide a very smooth cut, it is providing a very smooth cut in the wall face, and this is continuous excavation system. This continuous excavation system is producing huge material in a particular small period. And you can see this boom is slewable, telescopic type, it can move, it can rotate. So, it can rotate in 360-degree direction, this can move. So, you can in telescopic formation you can extend the arm, you can reduce the arm length, and that is why this can negotiate. Now, it is moved in reduced with the reduced arm size, and it can be raised or it can be lowered. So, that is why it can able to serve a very high bench height also, that is possible with this machine. So, this is a basically bridge type bucket wheel excavator, where you can see discharge boom is also bridged with another conveyor system. So, either you can have a mobile transport conveyor which can take the material from the discharge boom of the bucket wheel excavator, and that can be transferred to the shiftable conveyor. So, by providing this type of system, basically the operating width is basically extended in this case. So, that is a benefit of using this type of system. So, the frequent transfer of this shiftable conveyor is not required if some intermediate conveying system in terms of bridge conveyor or in terms of mobile transport conveyor is available in this case. So, this is in a nutshell how the bucket wheel excavator is operating. Now, these are the essential components of a bucket wheel excavator. So, first is the bucket. So, these are the buckets. Second is the wheel. So, this is the wheel. These are the booms of the containing the wheel. So, these are having different provisions. This can be of fixed arm length. This is having the provision to lift up and down. So, this is the operating height. In fact, this can be lowered also. So, there is a digging depth also associated to this. This is the digging depth possible with this excavator. So, that means this can be lowered also. This is the discharge boom. So, when the material is taken by this or cut by this buckets of the bucket wheel, the material is discharged. We have seen in the video how it is discharged to this primary conveyor. This primary conveyor is sending the material into the secondary conveyor or discharge conveyor. So, this discharge boom is containing the discharge conveyor, and discharge conveyor is discharging the material. So, there is this is also telescopic type, this is also slewable at any angle, this is also raised or lowered. All these facilities are available with this, and these are the different hoist cables are there for hoisting the boom. Hoisting facilities also available with the discharge boom, and there may be intermediate bridge conveyor system or other system. In fact, loading to the truck from this discharge boom is also possible if we are having a good size of trucks are available. Bucket wheel excavator can serve to a truck also, that is the discrete transportation system also, that is also possible in for this one, but that may reduce the efficiency of the excavator. So, it is best to deploy the bucket wheel excavator with a continuous excavation system along with the continuous transportation system is highly wanted. Now, basically as it is a direct excavator machine, or you can say it is directly cutting the material, essentially this is applied to the soft or semi hard rock. Very hard rock like say having compressive strength of 200 megapascal and etc., the performance of bucket wheel excavator will reduce significantly. So, with the strength of the rock, the performance reduced significantly, and that is why it is preferred to be used with the soft and semi hard material. In India, we are using it is in lignite mines, and basically in most of the cases in Germany, the maximum number of bucket wheel excavators are under operation. These are mostly operated in lignite or coal mines, and these are soft rock overburdens. If these are found soft like sand material, coarse grain sand material, in those cases also the bucket wheel excavator used. The benefit is that this is avoiding the blasting. So, this is a blast free technology. So, blast related other problems can be avoided by adopting this bucket wheel excavator technology. The main benefit is that bucket wheel excavator gives us huge production. So, the production rate is significantly high. In fact, from one bucket wheel excavator yearly production can reach to 10 million ton or so. So, that is why it is very popular and considered as the highly productive machine. Bucket wheel excavator is also used for the material handling, like if stockpiles are there, in those from those stockpiles material can be recovered using the bucket wheel excavator. In fact, bucket stock recovery or as a stock reclaimer, as a stockpile reclaimer, bucket wheel excavator is one very popular equipment in that case. The bucket discharge boom of the bucket wheel excavator can be used as the stacker, and the bucket side can be used as the reclaimer. Apart from that, there are many other types of applications are available with the bucket wheel excavator. This is another video related to these applications. We can see how the bucket wheel excavator, this is you can see the bucket wheel excavator is digging below its datum level. Here it is above the level, but you can see it is doing in two way. This is the use of the bucket wheel excavator as the stacker. So, it is in the back side, it is stacking the material. And this is how the material is discharged from the wheel, and you can see how the cutting is carried out. You just have some note on the cutting, this we will discuss at a later stage, say how these cuttings are carried out. And this is the bucket wheel excavator is fitted with the shiftable conveyor and discharging onto this. This is how the cut material is transferred from the bucket to the primary conveyor. So, this is from the bucket, the material is transferred. You can see buckets are discharging the material towards the conveyor side, and then it is combined with a mobile transport conveyor, and that is allowed as the discharging material or stacking the material in the back side. And this is how the bucket wheel excavator move. So, this is a huge crawler mounted machine. So, this crawlers moves, and this is how the shiftable conveyor are rapidly shifted from this position to this position. This is the primary conveyor taking the material from the bucket, and you can see there may be a angle between the primary conveyor or the cutting boom and the discharge boom. So, discharge can be carried out at any position, and this is a precise stacking system with the discharge boom. So, basically bucket wheel excavator is a very huge machine and that is producing very high also. If we look into the history, it was first patented in the year 1881 by Charles Smith, and in that case a workable buckets are used with a wheel excavator. A similar system are possible for the water reclaiming also from the pond etc., that is also found. So, it was patented in 1881 and 1816 it was first introduced to a lignite mines, and later on it gained popularity in mining also. And you can see this is the first rail mounted, this is the first rail mounted wheel excavator introduced when the excavator was allowed to move on the rail. In 1940s in US, coal producers has gone for bucket wheel excavators and it was found operated in Illinois. And this is the modern one, and in 1960s it is introduced to Navely lignite mine. So, this is the operation of bucket wheel excavator in Navely lignite mines. You can see these are the 8 crawlers allowing the bucket wheel excavator to move. And this is the operation of bucket wheel excavator in the overburden rock. And this bucket wheel excavator is operating along with a bridge conveyor at this side. So, now you can see this is digging it at a level lower than its standing level. So, it is basically digging, and you can see it is now operating in half block method. The front portion is left, the top block is now being excavated. So, we will discuss this method in the next class, but these are some of the video which you can see and you can relate, and by this way the bucket wheel excavator can dig its own ramp also, as it can dig the bottom part also. So, now you can see how this mobile transport conveyor or bridge conveyor is taking the output from the bucket wheel excavator and dumping that to the shiftable belt conveyor. So, this is the discharge boom is discharging onto this mobile transport conveyor, and mobile transport conveyor is discharging that to the shiftable belt conveyor. So, this is a very common technique of deployment of the bucket wheel excavator. And now, let us look into some of the photographs which are taken during the early deployment of the bucket wheel excavator in the Navely lignite mines. So, these are the early deployment. You can see in every benches a shiftable conveyor is provided, and the bucket wheel excavator which is operating at this position is dumping the material in the shiftable conveyor, and at the end there is a main conveyor which is basically taking the output from the shiftable conveyor and dumping the overburden material to the dump yard, and if it is coal like here, it is taken to the coal stock yard. So, these are allowing the bucket wheel excavator to take the material. In fact, bucket wheel excavator at this position is taking the material and dumping that to here. Here also the machine is taking that one and dumping that to here, and similarly these are the shiftable belt conveyor which is taking material for the overburden discharging, and this is for the coal. So, this is for discharging the lignite in this case. So, these are the some photographs of the Navali lignite mines which is pioneer in using the bucket wheel excavator in the country. Nowadays, few other lignite mines in Gujarat etc., are also using bucket wheel excavator as their main excavating equipment. So, these mines are basically opted for mostly for the blast free technology. Occasionally they go for blasting if some hard rock formations are coming, otherwise bucket wheel excavator is a very good excavating system which can go for fairly highly productive mines. Thank you.